does this Club World Cup change the conversation around the Ballon d'Or? Prior to the Club World Cup, I'm sure top contenders considered Lamine Yamal, Ousmane Dembele. There are a few people like myself who think Vitinha should be in there. There are those that also mentioned the La Liga best player, Rafinha. We've seen the exploit of Kopama winning player of the Club World Cup. Desiree Doué won the man of the match in the Champions League final. He won the Young Footballer of the Year in the just ended Club World Cup. Will these things play out in the considerations for the Ballon d'Or scheduled for September 22, 2025? And nominees are expected to be listed in early August.
Yeah. I can't say now that Palmer deserves to win the Ballon d'Or, but at least for the short list of top 5, because usually the ranking goes all the way to the top 5. Palmer should be in the top 5. Now, I'm saying this because aside the collective awards, individually he's been outstanding. Now, don't forget that they also award based on achievements in terms of the collective whole, and even the individual as well. He's won the Conference League, which is an European competition. So he won the Conference League, though it's a lower tier, but it's European, and he's been able to win that. And he was very instrumental in that final game as well. Okay. Now, he's gone on to win the Club World Cup, which I'll say is the ultimate when it comes to club football. He's won that as well, and he's won the best player of that competition. And also, in the league, he's able to manage to qualify his team for the Champions League, which is a feat that they've not achieved in the past. So he's done a lot of collective success with his team. And individually, he's won laurels as well. So I can't guarantee him winning the Ballon d'Or, but in the top 5 shortlist, he must be in there. Now, talking about the ultimate winner, Ballon d'Or winner, a lot of people say that because Dembele is a French player, he should be ahead, considering the fact that he's also won the Champions League and then also was part of the French team that went to the semi-finals and were third place in the UEFA Nations League. But aside that, he also won everything that had to do with trophies domestically. So he was exceptional in there. But don't forget that aside his goals that he scored more goals, and that is why his team was able to go all the way in winning all the domestic trophies and the Champions League in addition. But when it came to national team, he couldn't deliver with the national team. Whereas his teammates, I'll say, in the presence of Mendes and Vitinha, were instrumental. Mendes did not score as many goals as Vitinha did. And Vitinha has also been very instrumental in the midfield role. So then that comes to the discussion, the debate that, okay, well, Vitinha has achieved more in terms of laurels compared to Dembele, because if you go to national side, he won the UEFA Nations League with his country.
Even in this Club World Cup, he was Dembele at the start of the competition.
He was injured. He was sick. And couldn't play as many games and didn't have that much impact. You know, in the finals yesterday, he was missing entirely in the game. Yes, but Vitinha still made efforts. He had shots on target and all that. So at this point, this is where analytically, or what we see, the journalists who are voting will have to be critical in the decision making. Not say, well, let's go with the sentiments. Oh, he's a French boy. Let's reward our countryman.
If I ask you to do a list of your top 5 in a particular order, how are you going to go about it?
From number 1, it should be Vitinha.
I want you to start from 5 to 1.
5 to 1. So number 5 should be Lamine Yamal.
Number 5?
Yes.
Okay.
Lamine Yamal, number 5. Rafinha, number 4. Number 3 should be Cole Palmer.
Hey.
And number 2, Dembele. And number 1, Vitinha.
Okay, I see. Let me take your initial thoughts on whether the happenings at the Club World Cup changes the narrative when it comes to the Ballon d'Or, and then you end with your list of 5.
I doubt whether the Club World Cup is going to have a huge impact on who the ultimate winner of the Ballon d'Or is going to be.
Okay.
But I just feel there are certain players that have put themselves in a good conversation, at least to be in the top 10. And one of these players is Kupama, who was named the best player of the competition. That performance yesterday in the final was one that puts him in a respectable position. So even if he wasn't considered for top 20, I think yesterday's performance puts him in a very good conversation. In terms of the ultimate winner, I don't think there's something that has to change. Ousmane Dembele came into this competition as the outright favourites to win the Ballon d'Or, but his performance at the Club World Cup hasn't been there because he missed 1 or 2 games due to an injury. But since he was able to recover from the injury, he has been able to put up a good show. He scored against Bayern Munich. He scored a winner in the game against Bayern Munich. He scored against Real Madrid and also set up another goal. So although he hasn't had the best of season, I think per the games that he has been able to play in the Club World Cup, it's an okay performance. Yesterday's game was one that you would expect a player that has been pushed for a Ballon d'Or conversation to step up to the occasion, but yet he was unable to step up to the occasion. So, but in spite of that, I don't think we are going to see any huge change in terms of who is going to win the Ballon d'Or. In terms of other players that I feel should be in the conversation, but haven't really been looked at. Vitinha is one of those players. He's had a fine season. Individually, he was named in the Champions League team of the season. He was named in the French League 1 team of the season. He was part of the Portugal team that won the Nations League, and he played an integral role in the team. You look at Nuno Mendes as well. Nuno Mendes yesterday had an horrendous final, but entirely throughout the season, you can't use this just yesterday's game to somehow criticize a player. He's also had a very fine season. He's won everything with PSG. He's part of the best team in the UEFA Champions League. He's also part of the best team in the French League 1. He was the best player in the Nations League. He was the best player in the final. So he was also the highest assist provider in the competition. And let's not forget that there is someone who plays as a left back, but he can be able to score goals and also provide assists. Hakimi too finds himself in a similar situation. Then you have someone too like Fabian Ruiz as well, who also came all the way into the final of the Nations League with the Spain national team and won almost everything with the French League 1 outfit. So these are the players that I feel should be in the conversation for the Ballon d'Or. If I'm going to pick a player from Barcelona, then I think that player is supposed to be Rafinha. For the numbers that Rafinha had this season, the numbers are insane. And even in the UEFA Champions League, he has been able to match Cristiano Ronaldo's numbers in his best ever season. The best ever goal contribution that you've ever seen from a player in a single Champions League competition. Rafinha has been able to match that up. And let's not forget, Cristiano Ronaldo is one player that we see is the best when it comes to the UEFA Champions League. Okay. And Rafinha has been able to match his numbers. So Rafinha had a fine season in the competition.
So who is your five?
My top five, I'm picking in no order.
I want it to be in a particular.
All right, so I'm picking Ousmane Dembele.
Number 5 or 1?
No, okay. Starting from number 5. Starting from number 5, I'm going to pick Rafinha. Then number 4, I'm going to pick Hakimi. At 4. Number 3, I'm going to pick Nuno Mendes. Nuno Mendes. Yes. Number 2, I'm going to put Hakimi. Number 2, I'm going to put Vitinha rather, sorry. Then number 1, I'm going to put Ousmane Dembele.
That means if what you are saying happens, then we're going to have a repetition of 2010 where that is the only period where we've had 3 players from the same club mount the Ballon d'Or podium. Okay. But I'll come back to ask a question. You mentioned Rafinha, Rafinha and then Lamine Yamal conversation at Barcelona.
Right.
It looks like outsiders have an opinion that Rafinha should be the man for the Ballon d'Or conversation. But internally, the projections from the Barcelona faithfuls seem to favor Lamine Yamal. But Jai, let me come to you on whether you feel that the happenings at the club, what the impact of the Club World Cup will be on the Ballon d'Or conversation.
I think that will be very, very minimal.
It will be minimal.
A lot of football has been played. I mean, the Ballon d'Or is not going to be won over this Club World Cup
but
itself.
We've seen players play in tournament, 1 month tournament, one major tournament.
Yes, that is the World Cup.
We can talk about Lionel Messi's winning of the Ballon d'Or, his 8th Ballon d'Or, which is the last he won. And you can clearly state that was in 2023. He won it in 2023. And you can clearly state that the 2022-2023 Ballon d'Or was won by Messi, mainly because of his performance at the World Cup.
The World Cup. You are talking about the World Cup.
This is also
the World Cup.
This is a competition.
I'm reading something, but I went onto the FIFA page.
This is a competition.
I went onto the FIFA page and I didn't get any confirmation. But I've read multiple reports suggesting that for the previous Club World Cup winners, FIFA is going to classify them as having won the FIFA Intercontinental Cup, and that this is now going to be the only recognized Club World Cup. So that means we would have had just one Club World Cup in history. Yeah. But I've done multiple research and I've had no confirmation.
I think FIFA should just get their hands off, club football and just concentrate on, national, international, football. Because, I mean, they are messing the football ecosystem. They're messing everything up. I mean, I was reading reports of, FIFPro and other football associations, professional football associations who are criticizing this competition, that it's just too much football. FIFA is just thinking about. In
fact, that was my initial reaction.
FIFA is not thinking about the health of players, just thinking about the money, and already the FIFA calendar is so, the football calendar is so saturated that now there's not going to be that summer that you used to have players rest for at least six weeks before they come for pre-season. It's no more going to be there. With this introduction of this Club World Cup has worsened everything. So next year you have the World Cup. The following year, the summer, you have the Euros. The how do you call it? The South Americans play their
Copa America.
Copa America. The other year you have the Olympic Games. Yes, that one is not full international, so maybe a lot of players will not be engaged. Then the fourth year, the summer, you have another Club World Cup. So the whole summer is now gone. Players will have very little rest. I think this competition itself, I have a lot of problems with it. A competition that don't have the best teams at the competition. Europe have 12 representatives, and the best team in Italy is not there. The best team in England is not there. The best team in Spain is not there. And you have teams like Salzburg, Benfica, others who had terrible seasons playing at the Club World Cup. So I have a big issue with this competition. I think it is needless. It is just another money-making machine by FIFA. But let's put that one aside. I think this competition is not enough to determine, a Ballon d'Or winner, because a lot of football has been played all throughout the season. And Ousmane Dembele, I think, for me, I think is the only player in contention for the Ballon d'Or who was at this competition. The others were not there. So
who are the others?
And Dembele would have, had a perfect opportunity yesterday to have cemented it, considering how close it is to call. But yesterday. Yeah, I think it's close to
between
call.
Dembele
And if between Dembele and Lamine Yamal, if he had starred yesterday, putting a 5-star performance in yesterday's game, it would have elevated him a little. But yesterday he was shambolic. He was, in fact, the whole PSG team were nothing to write home about. So I think yes, the Ballon d'Or is still going to be very, very.
So you still don't consider Vitinha as one of the favorites to win the Ballon d'Or?
No, I don't think so. I mean, for a midfielder or a defender to win the Ballon d'Or, it's very, very difficult. And
Rodri won it last year.
Yes, Rodri won it last year because on the back of the strong European, championship, and then the performance he put up with Man City. And I don't think Vitinha's performance, aside PSG, I don't think it will be enough. Others have done enough.
Okay, so
but the example, the narrative judges gave, he said Pedro won it because Rodri won it because he won the European Championship with Spain, won the Champions League with Man City.
No, but he used a word to describe. In fact, I've missed it. But he said something about Rodri's performance with Man City. Not just winning it.
Not just winning it, but he was, outstanding.
He was a player of the competition.
He was a class. Come again.
He was a player of the competition at the Euros.
Yes, he was a player of the competition at the Euros,
Yeah.
and so individually he was extraordinary.
EPL player.
He won the EPL player of the season
Phil
with
Foden.
Phil Foden.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But when Modric won the Ballon d'Or, what was his contribution?
every
won the Champions
Modric was
League.
another World Cup year where
He had won the Champions League and he
Yeah.
still made it to the final
World
of
Cup,
final of
the
the
World
FIFA
Cup.
World
Now,
Cup.
his national team did not win the World Cup,
But they were in the
finals.
final.
Yeah.
Now, hold on to this. Vitinha's national team won the Euros, the UEFA Nations
The
League.
UEFA Nations.
Now, they won the Champions League and won every domestic trophy as well. And his team was also in the final
Okay.
of the
Ali, let
Club
me
World
ask
Cup.
you.
The dynamics every year the dynamics are different.
As much as if I am to vote, I'm sure I'll vote Vitinha as number 1 or number 2. But let me ask you this question: Did Vitinha win the UEFA Nations League and the Champions League as the most outstanding player, or he won it as one of
The players.
the players?
He was the most outstanding midfielder in that PSG team.
Yeah.
The most
No
outstanding midfielder,
yeah.
Yes.
but not
The
the, most
difference,
but not the most
the
outstanding
difference with
player.
Rodri is that he was the most outstanding player in the team.
Now, when you
And
come
even
to
in the
that,
Portuguese team,
But the Euros,
the Portuguese team, Vitinha was not the best player. He did not, affect the.
no, the reason he's not outstanding in the Portuguese team is that there's a star boy, a captain there who is hailed, idolized, Cristiano Ronaldo. So there's no way a small boy come and take the shine of the idol, of the god of that team.
Then,
Portugal.
it's not there.
You get it?
You're not rich. You're not rich
See,
in that.
because even in the final,
Then you know
even
rich.
in the final when Portugal beat Spain to win the Nations League,
Yeah.
the shine, the concentration, the focus was on Nuno Mendes. So it means that once your performance is up there, you can still steal the headlines with or without Cristiano
So
Ronaldo.
one thing that I've realized is that there are certain positions that when you play as a footballer, it's very difficult for you to make the headlines.
Yeah.
And one of those roles is in what? Is in midfield.
And in
So
defense.
for other positions,
Are you sure?
yes,
Midfielders.
it's very difficult for you to make unless you are the kind of midfielder
But we have
that
we have,
struggles.
we have
Michael,
midfielders
my
that
5 players for the Ballon d'Or.
okay.
Yeah. So
Jerry wants to.
yes, I
But we'll
have
come
to.
back to it.
Oh, okay.
No,
That's fine.
let's let him.
So,
Let's
you
out of the seal.
name your top 5.
Yeah, let's out
Okay,
of the seal.
so number 5, I'll put Mohamed Salah there for his numbers this season, incredible.
Okay.
Kylian Mbappe will be at number 4, European top goal scorer. He scores goal more than any other player in Europe this season. I'll put him there. And then in number 3, I'll put Rafinha there. I'll put
Lamine Yamal.
Lamine Yamal in number 2, and Ousmane Dembele number 1.
Who did you put at 1? Vitinha.
Vitinha, yeah, and then
So
number
Michael-
2. But quickly, let me just respond to Jerry. Jerry's mentioned that the FIFA Club World Cup, he described it more like a non-entity.
I didn't say it was a non-entity.
He
I was saying
described
that
it more like so.
the FIFA.
So imagine Liverpool played in the FIFA Club World Cup and were in the final or did very well. He would have appreciated the FIFA Club World Cup. Even if they had won it,
So you're saying
he
he's-
would have
he's saying
appreciated.
that because he's saying
sentiments, partially based on sentiments.
No, I have.
And
I
Lucy
have,
is putting Salah
I
at
have
number
a
5 of
myriad
Ballon
of
d'Or.
problems I have with the competition. I think the competition is completely needless.
Fans are enjoying more
And-
football. The more
and-
football, the more enjoyment for fans,
and-
and including you.
Okay, so we will see the effects.
Yeah.
As this season, the next season begins.
Sign more
at the-
players.
Yeah.
Have
You
a
will
good,
see-
have a
we
good
we
backup
we
team.
will see the players who are going to get bent out. We are going to see how injuries are going to affect players because they've not had enough rest. You remember Rodri saying that the injury he had was as a result of him not having enough rest, and so he did not recover fully because he had to play in all this competition, and that's how come and so that is why the players are saying that nobody is speaking for them. FIFA, UEFA, everybody is thinking about money. There's now almost taking all the time that they need to rest. Now every game is so. Look at UEFA. They brought the UEFA Nations League. Another, excuse my French, a useless competition.
Is it-
UEFA
Michael,
Nations League?
That's what
Completely
you see.
useless.
You
understand?
One of the reasons, one of my personal dislikes for the Nations League is that it has deprived African countries the opportunity.
Playing
To even
friendlies.
play
Engage in the
friendlies.
big
Yeah.
games.
And talking about friendlies,
They have just commercialized the friendly
friendly
games.
games.
so see,
Because of money. And so I think, where we are heading to is just complete madness.
Michael,
and
talking
somebody
about
has to speak to them to stop somewhere.
talking about opportunities to
understand?
play
So they
play
have to stop
other
somewhere.
teams from outside of your continent. Now, gone are the days where preseason friendlies, you see Chelsea maybe playing a team from the US or something like that because you do not get a chance to ever play them in a very competitive game, and that's where FIFA comes in because FIFA is the FIFA body, the body for international football.
Okay.
So if they play in their continental championships, in the domestic leagues, and now the champions, I want to see my team Fluminense play a team like Real Madrid. one day. But the fan will not get that chance because your team and the other team cannot meet anywhere, even maybe friendly. That's if they are considered. But with the FIFA Club World Cup, you get the chance. Once your team wins a continental championship, you qualify to come and play in the FIFA Club World Cup. And once the best team from Europe comes, you can now say, okay, well, my team has to folk. Being the best in Africa can get a chance to compete against Real Madrid. And that is a hopeful fan wishing to see his dream come through and travel to go and watch a game like that. So these things are realities that come for a fan that is living his entire life watching a football.
But
and will watch that his team is the biggest club.
the previous format also allowed winners of South America,
Not
Africa,
as many
Europe.
teams. Now this time there are 32 teams in there. So a team like Auckland, who are coming all the way from New Zealand,
They've lived their dream.
live their dream. The fans will say, oh wow, we got a chance to play against a team like Manchester City, Bayern Munich, and we enjoyed it. We saw up close. So allow the fans to also enjoy.
I mean, dreams, yes, dreams are valid. Everybody can dream. So
Okay.
should I sit here?
Let's do a few messages and then we look into the Black Queens Tanzania game. There's still something to play for on the back of the unimpressive outings in the opening 2 games. This one says, good morning to my fellow world champion, Eli Kondo and Abdurrahman Kubaja. Thought he's not in the studios. I trust you both slept well and had sweet dreams. The rest of you can take your greetings from PSG. I can't forget that start one, bench one, sell one debate between Pedri, Vitinha, and Palmer, where you all except for Kubaja disrespected Palmer like he's the worst among the 3. Yesterday, Palmer met with Vitinha, and guess who showed class on the world's biggest stage in club football? Palmer would be getting a Ballon d'Or shout-out if he was to be doing this in a Madrid or Barcelona shirt. Next time, you people will respect the cold boy when he's being compared to others. I'm Abdurrahim Abubakar Bansua from Ashaiman, Zongo, Laka. Okay, Bansua, special good morning to you. But very soon, the Metro Sports cameras will be visiting Ashaiman. In fact, over the weekend, I had some calls. Last week, I mentioned that the government must begin to pay attention to the abandoned AstroTurf project. And I got a number of calls from Ashaiman that there's one project there which has stalled. The youth can no longer use the park, and there doesn't seem to be any hope of works progressing on the park. So very soon we'll be visiting the area, and when we come, we'll get in touch with you. This one says, blue is the color, Chelsea is the team, Europe's best of the best. It says, Ed the song from Kaswa. Okay. Good morning, Michael. Chelsea has fulfilled a biblical and historical mystery. They were nowhere near what they achieved yesterday, but they've done what David did to Goliath. I am an Arsenal fan, but Chelsea deserve all the praise. They've shown that every mountain can be climbed. Kudos to them. Maxwell sent us the message from Akim Odan. Okay. Abeku Sego says, the basic difference between Chelsea and Arsenal is that Chelsea can't set their eyes and not pick it unless they don't see it. Arsenal runs past trophies. People can jabbo. This one says, good morning. Congratulations to Chelsea fans all over the world. They silenced a lot of doubters. Greetings to my lovely wife, Ed Dorego Precious. I love you, my number 1 Chelsea fan from Ed Dorego in the old Ashoman hillside. Okay.